Okay. Hi, my name is Christofer. We were part of the Montague's wonderful 2010 service learning class, which was a real change from all the other academic classes I've taken at SLCC. Anyways, our project was local. We called it local green. She called it local food, but it's all the same. And this is Nichole. We got in touch just real quickly before we get into the problems and everything with Julie Peck, who's at the Salt Lake Mayor's office, and she's in charge of the urban farming and open spaces. And the problem that she had is that there's no readily available information on community gardens or farmers markets in the Salt Lake Valley area, and probably all of Utah, but we're in Salt Lake Valley. So the problems we were finding is that people were losing their touch with nutritious foods, and commercialization of the food industry has brought low engagement to the community and its families. Many community gardens, especially in Salt Lake Valley, do not have very many people that are part of them because they don't have the time, or they're just not made aware of them, and that's usually the latter is the big part of it. Okay.
A big thing with that is when, you know, it's a lot less personable of an experience when you go and shop at Costco versus, you know, going and shopping at a farmer's market where you meet the person who grew that food and who, is that right, grew that food? Anyway, you meet the farmer and you know where it came from, and you know the process that it's been through, and it's just, I think it builds much more of it builds stronger threads in the community because you're not just, you know, checking out at the grocery store. It's more of a personal experience.
Okay, and
through our research, we found a similar project that's in Vermont, and it's called the Intervale, and it's actually a very widespread project that they do 3 different kinds of local agriculture. They do community gardens where, you know, you pay a small fee and you go farm your own plot, basically, and then they also had a different type of community garden. It's called community-supported agriculture, where you pay like $400 a season, and you don't get to grow the food, you don't get to pick the food, but you can go pick it up. And I mean, they'll have special days where you can, you know, your kids can go and pick pumpkins or pick apples or whatever it may be. And then they also have farmers markets. And this is a quote from their mission statement that we thought described our project perfectly. It says, as people disconnect from active lifestyles, nutritious food, and the natural world, they become less healthy. Community fabric becomes frayed, food producers struggle financially while people nearby consume highly processed food products with minimal nutritional value manufactured in distant facilities. So it's not just about the nutrition aspect of it, it's about building the community and getting people involved.
Our proposal. Okay, we were going to join forces with the Salt Lake County Open Space and Urban Farming, and in order to re-engage the community and bring happier, healthy, and more active lifestyles. Educating the public on these programs and offer easy access media that can help get them engaged. What we plan to do was, well, what we did actually, we didn't plan to do what we did.
Still in the process.
Yes, it's a very long process, is we're getting in contact with mayors of cities and other community partners in the area and finding out what community farms there are, community gardens, and farmers markets there are. And many cities we found out do not know that they have farmers market or community gardens, and some of them don't even know what that stuff is. So we have collected quite a bit, and we're going to make it into one easy-to-access place, which will be updated by the Open Space and Urban Farming. So. Okay, so community partner is Julie Peck, and unfortunately she isn't here today. She had surgery, and so she's at home recovering from that.
Another thing that they're focusing on is through educating the public and the community about these gardens, they are trying to acquire land unused land in parks and various different places throughout the valley to create new community gardens. And there's no way they can do that if the public isn't educated or if they don't know how to get involved or what the process is. So that's also going to be something that's included in our website.
There's many benefits. In fact, there's several articles, especially on the interval, that show that the community gardens there have lowered everything from gang violence to, it was wide, overall healthy living in the entire state, as well as bringing local sustainability much higher in that area. So it was quite actually amazing reading the articles about that. But many added benefits though. Poor and low-income families will have access to healthier foods through implementation programs similar to the Farm to Family that's found in the interval.
A little more on the Farm to Family. That's through their the farmers market at the interval. It's really similar to the state-run food stamps. The farmer himself creates these coupons and issues them to low-income families, and instead of coming to a farmer's market and paying more for, good quality organic produce, which it usually is more expensive because of the process that it has to go through to be certified organic, these families can't afford it, so they're living off of, top ramen that has your week's worth of sodium in it. And so through this Farm to Family, they issue these coupons, and it allows these low-income families to have access to that, which they normally would not have. And it also keeps money in local communities with local sustainability. This is a quote from the Local First Utah website, and every dollar spent locally, 3 times as much of that dollar is recirculated into the community versus spending it at a big box store.
And you'll find even more about that from our local sustainability group. We did a great, phenomenal job with that. And this is just just an example of what we did at the farmers markets, and just an example of what they were looking for. In fact, I found out there was a garden just down the street from me. I never knew existed, so that was actually kind of cool.
This is just a little more on the process that we went through to find these farmers markets and community gardens, and that's an example of a couple of them. Which the Harriman one's interesting because I had no idea that there was a farmers market in Harriman, and I actually called the city of Harriman and talked to the city manager and asked him, and he's like, no, we don't have any. And it was through someone else. I was like, really? Actually, you do. So this is the same for the community gardens, and it's, again, another example of a couple of them that we found. And like I said before, a big thing that we want to do for this is giving the public more information about how to be involved and how they can acquire a plot in a community garden, and what the process is and who they have to contact. It always skips that last slide. Sorry.
Okay. Leave it there just in case. And when I first took this class, and Liz Montague was like, this is service learning, and I'm part of AmeriCorps, which they talked about, and I was just like, oh goodness, more service. I can't wait to do this. But she went a totally separate route, and I was first of all thinking, like, what does English have to do with going out and doing service projects? But she taught us everything we had to know to do proposals and everything. And out of all the classes I've ever had, through elementary to college, this will probably stay with me the longest, because it really comes to the core of who we are when we help other people, and to be able to make a real difference in the community. I mean, we're making a better place, and it's absolutely phenomenal, and I think it is the way future teaching is to service learning. So.
For me, when I first started this class as well, I kind of thought service learning or civic engagement, I kind of had a shallow idea of what it was, I was thinking like food drives and go volunteer somewhere, but through this class I've learned that it's a lot more than that. It's, you have to connect to your community, and it's about building human capital and, building stronger threads within your community, and that was a big thing for me. So I think it was a great class, and like he said, this one will probably stick with me more than any of my other classes have. So.
I've actually even asked all my friends to take the class too. So.